it was so mind-blowing that, like, a team that has been so potent on offense and defense come out the way they did. And then I saw Zubac look like Shaq Diesel. I'm like, is Shaq playing the way he just bullied the whole Mavericks team? And
he did.
All of a sudden, they couldn't score 30 points in the first half with two of the most dynamic scorers we've ever seen in this game. It just didn't make any sense. The Beard had a flashback. Zubac played the game of his life. And I just thought without Kawhi and with the way Dallas has been playing, that they would come out and really beat the Clippers. But it just didn't seem that way. I think James came out with something to prove. George Westbrook gave him a bolt of energy when he got in the game, and it was just lights out. And all you need sometimes in basketball is one quarter. I mean, they thoroughly dominated them in the first and second quarters. And then all of a sudden, the Mavericks remembered how to play basketball. And then Kyrie comes alive, and of course, Luka comes alive, and they figure some things out. But I still think in the end that the Mavericks will defeat the Clippers. It depends on how much they get from Kawhi, because I know Kawhi is coming back. But in the playoffs, when you have Luka, who gave me 0 points in the second quarter.
Zero.
That rarely
he's a scoring
happens.
machine.
I mean, he's the league's leading scorer. He's only done it 4 times in the playoffs, where he has a quarter to where he doesn't score. And he's played a lot of quarters. So I look at that as an aberration. And so I think they'll turn it around next game. It's hard for me to see Zubac looking like Shaq Diesel 2 games in a row. Harden could be Harden, hit or miss with him, especially when you got Kawhi coming back. But I think ultimately that Dallas will make some adjustments and get game 2.
So this is you got to stay focused, right? The playoffs. Your veteran guys have got to cash in, they got to deliver. They got to stay focused. And this is what I was talking to you about last week, Paul. And everybody's saying, oh, Harden, he did this to the Sixers in Boston. He could do it again. And we were saying if Kawhi is out, he has to now become the 2 versus the 3.
Second option now.
Second option. But he ain't the 1.
But he looked like the 1.
But he ain't the 1. He's the second option.
He played like the 1 in this game.
He can do those sort of things. And both from an assist standpoint, setting up the offense, and pulling the trigger, he was able to do all that. Okay, and then some. Now you say, well, Kawhi's coming back. There's going to be, they're going to have to adjust and figure out how to get Kawhi his shots and get involved. But they haven't played together enough this season where they understand what to do once Paul comes back, because he moves back into the 3rd spot. And now Kawhi either is going to be 1 or 2, depending on his health. But as I told y'all before, as y'all praised the Dallas Mavericks all season long, especially toward the end, they was playing teams that were not very good. They went on some magical carpet ride where they were winning games.
12 out of 13.
12 out of 13.
Yep.
And I kept saying, man, they got to play the Clippers. That's a better team than what they've been beating. Okay, and a better coach than what they've been beating. Now we saw it, and we still sit up here acting like they didn't contribute to the lack of success in the second quarter that Luka had. No, they contributed to it. Whatever that was, they contributed to the way that they played. Now you say, well, they came back down the stretch. They never led not once in the entire game. That once upon a time it was down by 29-30.
29.
Okay? So they contributed to the deficiencies of the Dallas Mavericks.
Mavericks figured out something second half, though. They outscored the Clippers in the second half.
If I'm up by 30,
if you just take away that 8-point quarter, then Dallas, if you just take away the second quarter, Dallas wins the game. But, that's part of it.
You can't take it away.
But when I see them score 30 points in the third quarter, 34 points, and 33 points.
I'm up by 30.
Yeah.
I'm up by 30. So if you score 30 and I score 15, I'm still up.
Yeah, but I think they magically found something.
You lost. You didn't find nothing. What you found was Westbrook dunking on your head.
You know how it is in playoffs. You can go back and look at the tape and say, all right, this is what worked well for us in the second half. Now, this second quarter, we're going to throw that out the window because I don't know who we were. I don't even recognize this team. And so in the third quarter, we ran these plays. We got Kyrie the ball in this position to where he can be effective along with Luka Dončić. So now going into game 2, we're going to look at these plays and we say, all right, this is why Kyrie was effective. This is why Luka was effective in the second half. And so we're going to lean on that. And so if we can lean on that, maybe we'll have a chance. Now, you got to take some things away from the Clippers. You can't allow Zubac to look like Shaq Diesel, first of all. That was just
But how you going to do that? Who you going to do it with?
That was just pathetic. Well, Galper looked like he got hurt.
He did.
In the first quarter. He turned his quarter. And then
Paul
so that's
George
a big
rocked him.
That's a big piece of what they're trying to do out there. You know, he's one of the big men. Then they had to go with Kleber, who gave him I don't know what that sometimes he looked like he was throwing the game for Dallas. I mean, he came down, fouled James Harden on the 3. Then the very next play, he turned the ball over, and I'm just like, they have no chance if he's playing like this. And then they got to give Derek Lively more of a chance, I feel like, more so than Kleber.
And the one X factor in all of it is, Skip, you hate it, but it's Westbrook. Dallas doesn't have somebody coming off their bench that can match that same intensity.
Dante Exum can match his talent. He can.
I didn't say anything about the talent.
Not the explosiveness.
I said the energy
I got it.
that you bring. And when he got that lob from Harden on the backside, you could just tell it just reaped through the entire organization, right, to the point where I thought they was going to have to do something with the owner. He was going so high. I'm like, man, y'all better calm him down.
No, I'm with you, but I'm also with Paul. The Mavericks will reassert themselves. They will win game 2, and they will win this series.
I promise you they won't win game 2. They're going back to Dallas down 2-0.
All right. We may have to put something down on that. But the point was, the Mavericks all said after the game, they prepared as if they expected Kawhi to play. And the joke is on them because he wasn't going to play. But as soon as they saw him come out in street clothes and sit down, you could see their mentality was, we got this. And the first play of the game, I said, uh-oh, the Mavericks aren't ready. He didn't have Russ's personality. But to Paul's point, once they came back out after the second quarter, because they were embarrassed in this, to 8 points, and Luka goes 0 for 5 and 0 for 2 from 3, that's impossibly wrong. I'm like Paul, I'm watching saying, I don't know who these people are, because it looked like Luka and Kyrie had never played basketball together. And I'm saying, what are you guys doing? They just weren't ready.
But sometimes, Skip, no matter how hard people want guys to be a certain way, when you arrive to certain situations, you shrink.
Okay.
That's just the reality of it.
What did Ty Lue tell the broadcast team that they kept repeating on the air? Is that we have to come out ready to play today, readier than ever to play today. And were they ever ready, starting with Big Zoo? Because it was a classic punch in the mouth. They were so much more physical than the Mavericks were that it was an embarrassment. And Keyshawn, it's like the what's the old pop term? You have to play with appropriate fear. It's like you have to play good scared. You don't have your best player, so. Trust me, the Clippers are thinking we might get embarrassed in our own building by these guys.
But the Clippers have been without Kawhi for a couple weeks now, and they've been playing the same way leading into the Dallas series.
This is Dallas. This is Luka and Kyrie.
I understand that, Skip. But if you go back and you look at the games that he's been out, they've been playing with the same fire and intensity with him out.
Okay, I'm with you. But if you look at the second half box, you should take it to your bank because Jason Kidd's going to take his.
That's what you're going to look at.
Look, Kyrie goes 9 of 12 in the second half, makes all 3 of his threes, and Luka goes 7 of 13 and makes 3 out of 5 threes. That's 25 and 22 points just in the second half alone. They're going to say, that worked, and that worked.
Exactly.
Here we go.
Yeah, and I'm down by 30, so it's going to work because they're lagging off of me.
By 12.
All right.
No, I'm saying they lagging off of me, so them shots are going to be clean.
And to Denver,
they're not playing that defense.
Credit, they held the Clippers to 22 points in the second quarter and the fourth quarter. That's pretty damn good in the NBA game.
And they outscored them 67 to 53 in the second half.
Yeah, the only thing is they only scored 8 in the second quarter. If you allow a team, think about this, you allow 22 points in a quarter, that's pretty good defense. And by NBA standards today, when the average points per game is probably like 110 to 15 points a game. 22 points. If you can hold them to under 25, that's always been the goal when I play. We can hold them to under 25 points in a quarter.
Yeah, but if you hold me under 25 and I hold you under 16, guess what? I'm still up.
If you look in the third and fourth quarters where Dallas scored 34 points and 33 points, they found something.
Yeah.
So this is what they're going to do today.
But I'm up, though, Paul.
They looking at film this morning. Yeah, you up. But you still got
I'm not
players.
even playing at the same level as I was playing in the first quarter as I did in the third quarter because I'm up. I got all this cushion.
Right.
All right.
I see what you're saying.
Now to your man, my old friend Westbrook. I don't know what possessed him yesterday, but every time he scored, he's screaming at somebody in the crowd. And I'm saying, wait a second, it's your home game. Like, who antagonized you in the crowd? It'd be one side of the crowd, then it'd be the other side of the crowd. I think we got
I don't think it was anybody intentional. That's just him.
It's going to be a long night for Dallas.
Well, he's 27% for
Yeah. When he made the three, I was like, it's going to be a long night
so
for Dallas.
here's the downside of Russ to me.
Oh, God.
So 8 minutes left in the game. It's still a wipeout. And Russ comes, Norman Powell is more effective coming off the bench than Russ is. You can't do that to him. He's been around and done it too long.
It's not like he's a kid.
Skip. He's 30 years old.
He's supposed to stay in the corner. He tricked him.
Okay, I understand.
That's like me running a route and the quarterback expects for me to be one place and he throws it, he gets picked. That's my fault.
You cannot show him up going up the floor. It's just like your quarterback. If you ran the wrong route, you don't want him pointing at you.
He's not showing him up. He's telling him don't even trip.
No.
He said, don't worry about it. We
first
good.
They're going back and forth. We didn't see it in the middle of that. They're going
all
hard
I can
back
go
and forth.
off of, Skip, is what you pulled.
Yeah.
That's what I see.
Yeah.
So
at the end, he finally
If
said,
anybody
okay,
can do it, Westbrook can do it because he respected. So if anybody can get on his team, it's Westbrook.
And even if he did it, it's okay. They probably communicate with one another. That's all right.
Yeah. Okay. Again, I'm not sure who was at fault there. I just know Russ throws a lot of balls into the fifth row. That's all I know.
He can certainly turn the ball over at the wrong time. But that particular play, you can clearly see he had identified Powell being in the corner. He had already made his mind up. I'm going to drive. They're going to collapse. I'm going to dish. And then he moved on him.
Okay.
Russ went 2
Maybe
for 4
there
from
was
3.
a point. What's that?
He went 2 for 4 from 3. I'll take that from Russ.
That's like an all-time night.
The two bad ones was bad, though. The two misses.
Hey, you get 2 out of 4 from Russ from 3, you good.
He still got bunny hops, though, on that lob.
23 minutes plus 9. He gave great energy, yelling at everybody.
Yeah,
getting the crowd
I'm going to take that all day long. Dallas doesn't have that.
But that's the one thing I said about the Clippers over the years. They lack leadership, and I feel with him, they got a certain type of leadership and intensity that they need in that locker room, a voice, somebody that's going to hold these guys accountable and really, like, step up when it counts, whether it be in the production category, whether it's his production on the court, but you can't measure what he brings to his team off the court.
He brought him 4 turnovers yesterday, too. That's typical, par for the course, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know what you're getting.
All right, and I'm going to say this to sum this all up about James Harden. As he said after the game, I can still score with anybody. There is no doubt about that. If he makes 6 out of 11 threes, you're going to lose because it's just
most likely you're going to lose because he's going to knock them shots down.
All right. Well, then I'm just going to point out what happened against Paul's Celtics last year in games 6 and 7. Philadelphia's up 3-2. And in the last 2 games last year, when you needed him most, he shot 7 of 27 combined and 1 of 11 from 3 and had 10 turnovers in both those total in those
You know,
games.
it's a different year, though.
Okay, I'm
in
just
a different
saying,
team and a different coast.
If we had like 4 more hours of show, I'd go back through all the litany of all the epic failures of James Harden in the postseason.
I understand,
but
but you do realize it's a different year. You're on a different coast. This is a different team, a different organization, a different coach. I'm just saying.
I think it's the same James.
How could it be the same James and he just went out there and cooked you with 28, Skip?
It was game 1 of the first
God,
round.
okay, so.
Okay, game 2 is going to be very different.
All right, you're a Maverick fan, I see.
Right. I'm actually not, but I like what Luka and Kyrie can do to the Clippers. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.